Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to show you how to interpret the Forex economic calendar and how to use it for trading. It is important that you understand how the economic news affects our price action and affects our trading. And knowing some of this data is very important because you're going to use it for your own advantage. I'm not showing you a specific strategy for trading the news events, but I'm showing you something that can give you an edge over the average trader. So let's get into interpreting some of these economic data so we can use them for our own advantage in trading. We have several economic calendar on the internet. We have the one on forexfactory.com, we have the one on investing.com, and we also have it on my FX book. So I'm going to use the one on forexfactory.com because I realized that a lot of traders use it. So the first thing you need to do if you come to forexfactory.com is to search the calendar and then make sure that the time is reflecting the time in your own country. Then I would like to normally filter out some of the news that doesn't have any impact, like the no impact and then the low impact news. I will only leave the medium impact, which is this one, and then the high impact news for my own selection. So I will click on apply filter. Now this is the first thing you need to do. There are some key important news that we need to keep track of, and we're going to find them right here. I have a list of them. The first one is the interest rates, and then GDPs, unemployments, CPIs, and FOMC. These are the most important news that we're going to keep track of, even though the rest are also important, but these ones have a very significant effect on our trading. So I'm going to show you what this data means and how to interpret them. So on any Forex economic calendar, you're going to see something like this. You will see the actual, you will see the forecast, you will see the previous. The forecast is simply what the world is expecting. Is what the world is expecting, and then previous is what has happened in the past. So the actual is what is going to come out during the news event. So looking at what is happening here, I would like to leave it from Monday to Friday because this will help me to know exactly which currency is going to be strong and which currency is going to be weak. So looking at this, look at CPI from Swiss franc. Can actually see that CPI month over month was expected to be 0.2%. That is lesser than the previous data. And then look at what came out, far lesser than the data the world expected. So now look at what happened. From the previous data, people were expecting that CPI will drop Swiss franc, it will make it weaker, and then it made it more weaker than expected. I'm going to show you why this is important after going through all the information that you need to know. So this is important. Please take notice of what I just said. The previous was 0.3%, and the world was expecting that it's going to be a bit weaker. The data is going to come down, and it went down much than the expected data. And then look at for USD ISM manufacturing PMI, even though this is not part of the news I actually mentioned, look at the data from the previous data we have. The forecast was expected to be higher, and then it dropped lower than the previous. Now, most people would like to use the information from forecast and the actual, but I've realized that using the previous and then the actual gives you the best information that will help you to trade. So look at this. USD came out negative again. So in a day, you're going to have 2 to 3 of this kind of data coming out. So in this one day, we have our Swiss franc being lower than expected. And then we have USD coming out lower than expected. So what I would like to do normally, if I'm trading, I have something that I call the strength box. So this is it. If I see a news come out from this particular day, from Monday, I saw this news came out, and then Swiss franc was weaker because the data came out less than expected. I will simply take my Swiss franc to the weaker side of this box. I would say Swiss franc is weak. or let me just simply type it, guys. My drawing is not as perfect as I expected it to be, so let me just put the data right there. So we say Swiss franc CHF is weak. So this is what we realized for that trading day. And what happened again? I discovered that USD is also weak. Just pay attention to every detail I'm giving you right here. So if USD is also weak, I will expect to see that we have a weaker USD for that day. So this is why it is important for a daily trader, that's an intraday trader, to take notice of this. So if you are trading, you're not going to mix weaker currency and weaker currency to trade, because there is not going to be any significant movement. You can only look for a stronger currency and a weaker currency to trade. Let's check our calendar again if we are going to see any stronger currency on that day. There is not any stronger currency on that day. So what I'm going to do is to actually trade anything that is not part of these two. Let's assume I want to trade CHF JPY henceforth until the next time another news is going to come out from this same currency. Until the next news that I will see from CHF, I will assume CHF to be a weaker currency, because CPI is a very strong economic news. Now I'm going to show you something that is very, very powerful. Look at this. If the previous data is 0.3 and then the world is expecting it to drop, okay, the world is expecting it to drop. You know, the expectation of people is that the currency is going to drop. For instance, the currency is going to drop, and then look at what happened. It actually dropped further. So the shock is not going to come much higher than what you see most high impact news give you. But in a situation where the world is expecting, let's assume the world is expecting that this is going to be 0.5, that means it is going to be higher than the previous. Okay, it is going to be higher than the previous. That means we expect Swiss franc to go higher from that information. If for any reason the actual data came out as minus 0.3, which is far, far less than the previous and less than the forecast, it is going to be a shock to the market. That will make Swiss franc to move massively weaker, because this is coming out as a shock to the whole world. Minus 0.3 as opposed to the forecast 0.5, which we expect to be higher than 0.3. 0.5 was supposed to be our forecast because most people are expecting it. If it came out as 0.4, it's better because we expected it already. The people are looking up to it, but it went much weaker than we expect. So we had 0.3. So this kind of information, if I'm using it on my strength box, let me go back to, was it GBP USD? Let me go back to it, guys, so you can see what that means. So if I'm dealing with that, I am actually going to see, I hope this is here, the strength box. Okay, it is here. So if I am doing anything, I will even go further and put asterisk to Swiss franc, because Swiss franc has came out as a shocker to the world. I will put something like this to make sure that I pay attention to Swiss franc, because I'm going to mix it with another currency. I expected it to move smoothly without giving me any headache. From the news, it came out as a shocker. It came out as a shocker. I hope you understand this. If we expected this news to go higher, because this is in the same line, we expect it to be weak and it came out weaker. The same thing, you will see them time and again. So if we expected it to be high and it came out much weaker, then it is going to be a shocker to the world. So let me show you what this will give you on your chart. Swiss franc JPY, for example. if I have Swiss franc JPY from the economic news right here, on Monday I saw the news and I put my Swiss franc on the weaker side of my box. I will check the date from here, July 3rd. Let's go to July 3rd and see how this affects our trading. For an intraday trader, please pay attention to this. July 3rd, let me just enable my period separator so you can see what is happening. July 3rd, right here. We said July 3rd here. At what time exactly did that news came out? Let's check. It was at 7:30 a.m. from my own country. You would like to just select it from here, come to where you see time zone. Make sure I'm on this. This is my time zone. So from 7:30 a.m. is what I will watch out for. Okay, from 7:30, somewhere from here, you can actually see that from that same day till when it has been weak, because there is no any high impact news that came out. If it even came out as I explained here, it will be much weaker. And if you check, you will discover that Swiss franc and JPY, probably JPY also has a little bit of weakness. That's why you did not see it had that significant move down. So from Monday until I see another news that is a high impact news from Swiss franc, I'm not going to change the bias that I'm using, because this news affects the movement. So that one I showed you that will come out as a shocker will even affect it more significantly. So in a day where you see such kind of news like this one on Thursday, or let's go to Friday, where we have unemployment rate, we have average hourly earning month over month, non-farm employment change. So we have a mixed sentiment in this kind of day, especially on the USD. Sorry, I made mention of CAD right here. Okay, let me start from CAD. Employment change and unemployment rate, they are almost similar. Employment change is simply the number of people that either lost their job or the people that have gotten job over the last 1 month. So if it is negative, it means more people have lost their job, and then if it is positive, which is green, it means more people have gotten more jobs. So this is telling you that this currency is supposed to be higher because people have gotten jobs, and it means the economy is going to be strong. We're not interested in knowing what exactly this is going to be to the economy, but we are interested in knowing what exactly it will mean for the currency. So unemployment rate is this. So this data is conflicting each other, and they are both high impact. So this particular currency will have a mixed sentiment. So this is why sometimes you will see a news move down and then take up again. So this kind of areas, you will not have an exact direction for that. So this pair will just be dilly-dallying around. You will not have the exact direction. So anytime you see a mixed sentiment, that is what you're going to expect. So average hourly earning for the USD and then non-farm employment change. This was the data from the previous, and it was expected. Now non-farm employment rate is simply the number of people that have either gotten job or have lost their job, with the exception of the farming sector, or what we call the agricultural sector. So you can actually see the data expected was 224,000, and then more people have lost their job, because when it comes out red, it means people have lost their job. If it comes out green, it means people have gotten job. That means it will affect the dollar. The dollar will be affected, and we expect to see it reflected on our chart. So we keep putting it until you see this particular day on Thursday, ADP, automatic data processing, non-farm employment change. We have this forecast, and it came out much higher. So that day we have 2 positive and then 1 negative. So we can still put our USD as part of the strong currency that we want to mix with a weak currency. So I'll make a video on how to manually calculate currency strength in this same YouTube channel, so you can use it for your trading activities. So this is what some of these data mean. You can actually see trade balance. This was the previous data, the forecast, what the world was expecting, and it came out much higher. So what do you see there? It simply means that the Aussie is going to be strong. and the same thing happens here. FOMC, there is no data for it, and you can see cash rate. This was the previous data, the expected data, and then this was the actual data. So you don't expect any move from this particular news because it is going to be around one place. So these are all the informations captured on this data. And then we also have unemployment claims, the number of people that claim to be unemployed. The data was 236,000 people claimed to be jobless. This was the data expected. Much people are going to be jobless, and then it came out much than even expected. So all this one, the expected was supposed to be much, and it came better than even expected. So it's in the same line. It is not going to be a shocker to the world. It is not going to be a shocker. The one that will be a shocker to the world is this one. This was the type I just told you. 267,000 people. 267,000 people, and the world expected to drop. And look at this. It went higher than the one expected. Okay, it went higher than the one expected, almost 2 times the data release. So this was the data. You can actually see it. It was on Thursday, July 6th, 1:15 p.m. If you go to your chart and check it, any USD pair currency, Euro USD, you're going to see it around that exact time. Okay, you can actually see that at this point price actually pushed to this level. It actually pushed to this level within that exact time, that period. This entire period was the news, but we don't know what is happening to euro. And then the reason why you see this kind of movement, it came down and pushed up, we have a mixed sentiment right here. Below it we have this data that is a mixed sentiment. It expected to go low and it went much lower, and this one too was a mixed sentiment. We have 2 positive sentiment, and then these 2 have a mixed sentiment. So this is all about this economic calendar, guys. You can use it to trade henceforth. Make sure you are updating your strength box as soon as you see a new information that comes out and gives you an idea that this currency is weak or strong. You can put it on that currency box. I hope this video helps you a lot. Thank you guys for watching. If you are new here, make sure you give me a subscribe and turn the bell notification. Thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next video.